What's up, guys? It's your girl Chelsea, aka wannabehecatetarot, coming at you live from my bedroom. So today I'm going to talk about moon signs. I'm excited to be making a video for the first time. Everybody knows their sun sign. They'll be like, oh, I'm a Capricorn or I'm a Gemini. Your moon sign is kind of how you deal with your emotions. It's all about your inner world, your inner self. Some people will say that we all wear this mask, and your mask that you put on is like your sun sign, but underneath the mask is where your moon sign comes into play. I'm going to include in the caption the times you can skip to if you want to just go to, if you already know your moon sign and you're just like, okay, I want to go straight to mine. I'll have the time down there so you can just snap right to it. If you don't know what your moon sign is and you would like to find out, all you're going to need is your birth date, your birth time, and the town in which you were born. And once you have those things, you can get your birth chart, and from there you'll be able to get your moon sign and start learning more about yourself and going on a really cool journey of self-discovery. So Aries moons are very emotionally headstrong. They can be kind of opinionated. They like to be admired, but they don't like authority. They don't like to be held down or restricted in any way at all. Aries moons tend to have a high-strung disposition and kind of like a short attention span. They really like to just plunge in and get something done rather than waste time worrying about a plan. With that being said, though, they do perform very well under pressure. To an Aries moon, the chase is usually more important than whatever it is they're actually going after. They kind of remind me of that Joker quote from The Dark Knight when he's like, oh, I'm like a dog chasing a car, but I wouldn't know what to do if I actually caught one. In general, Aries moons have very quick minds. They're very outspoken. If you have your moon in Aries, some cool people that you share that with are LeBron James, Fat Joe, Billy Joe Armstrong, Daniel Radcliffe, Tupac, Kendall Jenner, Salvador Dali, and Chuck Norris. Taurus moons are very emotionally faithful, they're very trustworthy, but they can be a little possessive. The number one thing for a Taurus moon is security. That's like the most important thing to them. They don't like change, which can make them kind of overcautious. It can take a really long time for them to come to a decision, and once they do come to that decision, they're probably not going to change their mind. They can be pretty stubborn. Taurus moons have really good powers of concentration. They usually don't like parties and big crowds and stuff like that. They really like material comforts. They'd rather stay at home than go out. They like to have things their certain way. They have a really good artistic sense, and they can be kind of like sentimental and affectionate. And Taurus moons are very loyal, but it's because they just really value stability and security. If your moon is in Taurus, some of the cool people you share that with are Christian Bale, Al Horford, J. Cole, Tommy Wiseau, Cecily Strong, Zendaya, Sigourney Weaver, and Chris Pratt. Gemini moons can be emotionally fickle, but they have a lot of great personal charm. They can tend to rationalize their feelings in a way that makes them kind of repress their emotional needs. Gemini moons have very quick minds, so it's just always working, so they like multitask a lot. They don't really like routine, they just need constant stimulation. They make decisions pretty fast, and those snap decisions tend to be based on their logic rather than their emotions. They tend to have a great sense of humor. They're very witty. They like to travel. They like to meet new people. They can be wordy, and just because they're sociable and they're very adaptable, and they just like to meet someone new and learn about them. Gemini moons are very friendly. They have very independent spirits. If your moon is in Gemini, some cool famous people that you share that with are Future, Barack Obama, Jeff Bridges, Aubrey Plaza, Eddie Redmayne, Charlie Day, and Jessica Chastain. Cancer moons. So the moon is actually ruled by Cancer. So when you have your moon in Cancer, it's generally pretty chill, and it's a nice sign to have your moon in since that's where the moon feels comfortable in that sign. Cancer moons are very empathetic, but they can be moody and have very quick shifts in temperament. Like Taurus moons, Cancer moons also have a very deep need for security. They feel their emotions very strongly, and they perceive their world through those feelings. The issue is that they won't openly show those feelings because Cancer's the crab, so they have their shell that they hide in. And they're also like motivated by those feelings, but in a way they're afraid of them. So they can appear aggressive, but they're usually pretty vulnerable underneath that. Cancer moons have a great memory. They're very protective and sometimes kind of possessive of what's important to them. They just form this attachment to what makes them feel safe. Overall, Cancer is a great sign to have your moon in since the moon is ruled by Cancer, but it can cause you to have these very deep deep emotions. If your moon is in Cancer, some cool celebs that you have that in common with are Kerry Washington, Mindy Kaling, Zack Snyder, Bob Ross, James Harden, Emilia Clarke, Ice Cube, Jimmy Page, and Leonard Nimoy. Leo moons are emotionally proud, like to feel special. They like to be the center of attention in a group of people that they're all really comfortable with. They'll like to take center stage and be the leader. Leo moons tend to be natural leaders. They have a lot of personal charm. They generally don't really like to be ignored. When it comes to problems, the Leo moon will confront the problem head on rather than trying to go around it or avoid it or ignore it. Sometimes Leo moons can have issues with they'll want to oversee things for people that they care about. So they'll kind of get a little too involved in their life, but they're it's because I care about you, I'm trying to help. But the people that they care about are kind of okay, I love you, but step back. Like Aries moons, Leo moons can have issues with taking orders and dealing with authority. But Leo moons do have a very strong sense of fairness and looking out for the little guy. Leo moons can be overly confident, but they are very sincere. If you have your moon in Leo, some of the cool people you share that with are Giancarlo Esposito, Mark Hamill, Shia LaBeouf, Steve Aoki, Hope Solo, Maisie Williams, Halle Berry, and David Bowie. Oh, my back hurts. Virgo moons are emotionally altruistic. Virgo moons are always learning, and they're always trying to figure out how to use what they've learned. They take life as it is. They're very common sense, very realistic. Virgo moons like to be valued for their services. So when it comes to someone they love, they like to do something for them and show them that they love them by putting in that time and effort. If someone needs help, Virgo moons are the first people to jump up and be I got you, I'm there for you, what do you need? Virgo moons can be shy with new people, but they will come out of their shell eventually. They can tend to analyze their feelings in a way that makes them kind of standoffish at times or a little reserved, they won't want to be mushy. Virgo moons can be easily overwhelmed by stress, so they tend to just appreciate when things are very simple. Very happy when they just have things under control and they're just taking care of details and just checking things off their checklist. If you have Virgo moon, some of the cool famous people you have that in common with are Sir Ian McKellen, Tessa Thompson, John Hamm, Chelsea Handler, Fred Armisen, Eddie Vedder, Kristen Ritter, and Chris Hemsworth. Libra moons are very peaceable, but they can be emotionally dishonest because they're always trying to keep the peace. They're people pleasers. They don't like confrontation. They tend to have an enhanced ability to just get along with people. They're kind of like social butterflies. Libra moons are very charming, but they can be predisposed to be very flirtatious. They're very open-minded. Libra's sign is the scale, so they're all about justice. They try to view the world very rationally and in a balanced way. They don't want to be biased. Libra moons tend to love with their head rather than their heart. They love with their head, and the mental rapport is very important for them. They like to debate a lot. Libra moons have a really good eye for beauty and art. They are what you would call aesthetic AF. They can instantly spot perfect things in stores. I personally have Libra moon, and when I go shopping with my friends, I'm always picking things up for them, going oh, this is cute on you, this is cute on you, buy this. If you have Libra moon, some of the cool celebrities you have that in common with are Jesse Eisenberg, Rachel McAdams, Kristen Stewart, Brendan Urie, Natalie Dormer, Alia Shawkat, Evan Peters, Shania Twain, and Meghan Markle. Scorpio moons are emotionally intense. They have very strong and acute powers of observation and memory. They have this very keen mental vision. They're very clever at hiding their feelings. They don't like to outwardly show what's going on the inside. They have great self-control. It almost be said that Scorpio moons seem to disapprove of their own emotions. They have this fear of being controlled sometimes. Scorpio moons have this persistence about them and this determination that enables them to overcome the obstacles in their path. They're not halfway people at all. They're we're doing it all the way, or we're not doing it at all. Very intelligent. They're very just very brilliant in a way. They have this way about them that they just seem to know things. If you have Scorpio moon, some of the cool celebrities you have that in common with are Kit Harington, Orlando Bloom, Guy Fieri, Alanis Morissette, Brie Larson, Michael Keaton, Margot Robbie, Ryan Reynolds, and Mila Kunis. Sagittarius moons are emotionally restless. Sag moons are very outspoken, very impulsive. They're all about rushing in, and they need their freedom, they need their space. They don't like when people are like emotionally needy. They just don't understand being that way, so they don't really know how to deal with it. Sag moon people are very adaptable. They're very fond of new people and like open spaces. Sagittarius moons have this like recklessness about them. They just like abandon themselves to fate in a way that other moon signs won't, because they just have this blind faith and they're just always kind of like, you know, things will just work themselves out. Sag moons are like the most notorious to like, let's just wing it. That's like their favorite thing. Like, we'll just wing it. We'll just kind of go. They're always hungry for knowledge, always hungry for new experiences. Sag moons are like witty with words. They're good at making friends. They have this like just this optimism about them that's just like contagious. If you have Sagittarius moon, some of the cool celebrities you have that in common with are Tim Curry, Dave Grohl, America Ferrera, Woody Harrelson, Oprah, Ellen Page, Tom Holland, and Zoe Saldana. Capricorn moons are very emotionally controlled, very self-reliant. They have this like charming kind of aura about them though. They seem to have a knack for like getting to know the right people. Capricorn moons may have like a need to control their environment or control their family. They're very organized, they're very self-sufficient, and they just like to be in charge. You could almost say that like they just have this sense of responsibility about them, like they're just always like working towards something. They're very steady, very reliable. They usually come off pretty like chill and level-headed. When the moon is in Capricorn, it is what's called in detriment. And because of that, Capricorn moons can have these like emotional problems that some other moon signs may not, because the moon does best in Cancer, which is a water sign, and since Capricorn is the opposite of Cancer and it's an earth sign, the moon kind of doesn't really know how to act there. It just gets kind of uncomfortable. So it's often said that Capricorn moons have to overcome obstacles within their own nature to find the happiness that they're looking for. Capricorn moons can also tend to like have these feelings of loneliness that they'll hide behind like a very dry sense of humor or sarcasm. Capricorn moons will tend to plan way farther ahead than anybody else in the zodiac. Capricorn to me is like the dad sign of the zodiac. Like they're just very responsible and they're always like making sure their stuff is taken care of. If you have Capricorn moon, some of the cool celebrities you share that with are Stevie Nicks, Amy Winehouse, Johnny Depp, Ryan Gosling, Freddie Mercury, Eric Andre, The Rock, and Arnold Schwarzenegger. Aquarius moons are emotionally unpredictable. Aquarius moons tend to prefer friendship over like very committed intimacy. They can be kind of aloof and a little standoffish. Very mental. They also like to debate like Libra moons. They love passions of the mind. They're very witty. They like to have good stimulating conversation. They're very sociable, very people-oriented because they like to analyze why people do things. So they'll like to people watch and stuff like that. Aquarius moons want to like take in everything, so they have this really wide outlook, but they can tend to have a short sight. They're very loyal as long as you give them the space to be themselves and do their own thing. Aquarius moons are very interested in like the unknown and what lies ahead. Kind of like X-Files vibes, like the truth is out there. Aquarius moons are social butterflies, but they're always trying to like find the balance between independence and commitment. If you have Aquarius moon, some of the cool celebrities that you share that with are Andrew Garfield, Lil Wayne, Joan Jett, John Lennon, Gene Wilder, Keegan-Michael Key, Ice-T, Jessica Lange, and Joe Jonas. Pisces moons are emotionally sensitive. They can be self-indulgent. They can kind of have these like escapist tendencies where they'll kind of just go off into their own little fantasy world and kind of just avoid their problems and kind of ignore them, hoping they'll go away. Pisces moons can be very optimistic. They can sometimes see things as they'd like them to be rather than as they actually are. I think out of all of the zodiac signs, Pisces can be the most likely to be wearing the rose-colored glasses. They can tend to let their emotions get the better of them, but it's really because they have like a sympathetic heart, and Pisces moons just have this like knack for being able to put themselves in someone else's shoes in a way that other moon signs don't. They can honestly just like lose themselves in the suffering of other people. And they'll work for others and give others advice, but then they'll have trouble being strict with themselves sometimes. They're really silly. They have a great sense of humor. They're just really goofy sometimes and like really fun to be around. If you have Pisces moon, some of the famous people that you share that with are Michelle Obama, J.R.R. Tolkien, Tom Petty, Jennifer Hudson, Elvis Presley, Steve Carell, Laura Dern, Ben Stiller, and Chris Pine. I did it! I filmed the whole video! Yes! I hope that you guys are doing well and being safe and being inside. I hope you liked my video. Let me know what you think. Let me know how you feel, what your moon sign is, and if you feel like my comments on your moon sign resonated with you and who you are as a person. Be safe, be sanitary. I will see you guys soon, hopefully. Love you, bye.